This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What's going on, dude?
Nothing. I've got a brand new microphone. How's it work? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Testing. Is it working?
I see you got all kinds of new mics hanging around.
Yeah, I got this one from Jeremy Olson.
That's what you're saying?
Yes, House Bill 1538. He's like, hey, I think you need to have a new microphone. So we're trying this one out. I've not heard it yet, so it'll be fun to listen to this after we're all said and done to see what it sounds like. But anyway, I am really excited for tonight. I think tonight's going to be our longest night because our guest is going to not let it be a half-hour show.
Yeah, I don't, this man this guy we're bringing on tonight, I've had the pleasure of knowing for 20 plus or 10, 15, almost 15 years or so. I call him a great friend, truly somebody I look up to in the industry. And we could talk for days on all the different things he does. I think tonight's topic will be a little different, a little fun. It's going to be interesting for some people. It's something that I kind of talk to people about, but to get Pat's take on it, to get all that stuff, it's going to be really interesting to see how people take this one. So without further ado, we better bring him in because we better not waste too much time. Pat, how you doing, buddy?
Well, look at that. It's Pat Kalmerton.
Hello! What's going on?
So here's the deal. I tried to explain to people that you sound like Frank Caliendo doing John Madden doing Pat Kalmerton. I love your voice.
You talking to Kurt or me at this point?
No, I'm talking to you.
Oh, yeah. No, I can walk into a room, and the room can be packed. The minute I walk in, people know I'm there. It's one of them things where, right off the get-go, if you're not loud enough to be heard or bright enough to be seen, you might as well sit down because somebody else is taking your spot.
That's hilarious. I know last year at a Glow, that was the first time that I met you down in Branson. And I'm like, hey, is Frank Caliendo playing here tonight? And I'm like, is John Madden here? Like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? No, it's Kalmerton. I'm like, oh.
It's funny that you say that because we just wrapped up the Glow conference and we went into one of the hospitality rooms from the folk over in New York. And all of a sudden she stops in her tracks and she looks at me, the one that was tending bar. So I was waiting for my whiskey, and she's like, hey, I was trying to wrap my head around this. I remember your voice. I remember your face. I couldn't figure out where I seen you. I'm from New York. You're from Wisconsin. There's no way. But were you at a media event in 2012 out in New York? I said, yeah, matter of fact, I was. I was there for a media event. She goes, I fished with you on Buffalo Bay for smallmouth bass. And your voice, the minute you walked in, I knew exactly. I mean, I didn't know exactly. I had to pinpoint it. That's a long time ago. That's 11 years ago. But they were trying to figure, I think that's 11. Kurt, get off your shoes. I did extra toes account. But, yeah, I mean, I hear that all the time. Last year, Elena over in Kentucky, same thing. I was down in Missouri, and she comes up. She's like, hey, Patrick, how are you? I was like, I couldn't place her. I fished with you in Fond du Lac in 2008. I'm like, oh, how am I supposed to remember that? That's not fair.
That's crazy. You make an impression on people. There's no doubt about it.
And
I certainly should have remembered both of them. Very good-looking gals. I definitely should have remembered both of them.
And that's part of our conversation tonight because, Pat, that was one thing you said to me with your first statement. If you're not the loudest, you don't shine the brightest, you will be put in the corner. Yep. And that's something you've always done very professionally, but you can take a whole room. I mean, I've been on the floor of the St. Paul Ice Show and everybody's walking your way because you can hear you through the crowd. And that is something, like I said, we were talking about. That's going to lead into our conversation. But before we hit that, you started something new a couple years ago that is really cool. You're taking the kids outdoors. That's pretty cool. Get into how you started that, why you started that, what that's about.
Oh, Take Them Kids Outdoors, which is TTKO. So 2 years ago, I was up bear hunting with my daughter, who at the time was 6 years old. We were running hounds. I've never ran hounds for bear before, and one of my buddies who Will Glanville. I run all over the country with him hunting and fishing because he has kids at the same age group as my children. And, we go hunting and we go fishing and stuff. Well, his family runs hounds up in northern Wisconsin, and they graciously invited me along because I had a bear tag. And I've harvested a bear before over bait, and I've always wanted to experience it over dogs. And right before we left, I got hacked. I mean, 5,000 on Facebook, 5,000 on whatever it was. I know at Facebook you're capped. Yeah, I was right at that 5,000. I think I was at like 2 people. I had to delete people all the time to get, if I met somebody interesting, I wanted to be friends with them. And then after that, I had another page that got hacked, which was my pet Kalmerton Outdoors, because they were both linked. Well, at that time, when I was taking my daughter, I was like, I'm done getting hacked. I lost all my photos. I've contacted this woman that was related to, or, dating this other guy or whatever. And she's like, you didn't hack you hacked him, whatever. Well, anywho, I lost everything. And I wanted to document something that I would never lose. I wanted a public page, and anybody that knows me, the hashtag Kalmerton Zoo, because my house is a zoo, man. I mean, my kids are everywhere. I'm kind of the conductor of the train and throwing peanuts at the clowns, basically. So what I did was I started this Facebook page, and all it was to do at the very beginning was to document everything that I did in case something ever happened to me. I lost a parent when I was really young, being my mother. And life is too short. It's one of them things where you go through life and everything changes and stuff. But how do I make something so if something happened to me tomorrow and my kids are really young, how do they remember dad? How do they remember that I was part of their life? Because as you become older, the more memories that you gain or that you get. And with every experience, but it takes to a certain level and you forget bits and pieces of different things. Well, now with the beautiful thing of social media, everything gets captured. I mean, you can take pictures with your phones nowadays. I went in and I just got a brand new phone that it has a remote. I can take a selfie from wherever I'm at without setting a timer and waddling back in front of the camera, so I could take that picture. I could take, pictures through my spotting scopes, my vortex, whatever the case may be, my binoculars with the mag view. I flip that open. I put my binoculars right on there, and I can take pictures for long distance. The capabilities are there to do anything and everything that you want to. Why wouldn't I record all this? So what I did was I started recording this, and then I started thinking, back in my life, my father was a game warden. I didn't have deer season with him. The deer seasons that I had with my dad now is different because we go to Indiana and we go to Wisconsin. We spend a lot more time together now, but at the time he was protecting the resources that you and I love to chase. So we would go out and he would be on a bucket with an earpiece in his ear, and it might be 8 o'clock, it might be 10 o'clock that also an accident or something happens and he's got to roll. Well, at that point, sorry, kid, we're done. He had to put life on hold to go protect or to deal with. And, over time, then other people stepped up and said, why don't you come along? I had certain individuals in my life, I'll never forget a Dave Nett that took me wood duck hunting down on the Wisconsin River when I was younger, taking me over to Winneconne chasing walleyes. Or you have Jared, who is my brother, who took me to ponds to jump shoot or out of the Sheboygan Marsh to shoot ducks. Or, there are so many different individuals that took me trap shooting all over the country because my dad was busy, but yet when he could, he would be there. Mom didn't know it, but she was taking me out to walk for pheasants with my dogs and everything else just to get some exercise because she knew that I loved the outdoors. So take them kids outdoors. It has nothing to do with hunting or fishing, to be honest with you. My perspective on this whole deal is to encourage, I mean, well, you're big into metal detecting. That's a
Right.
great activity for these kids to go find treasures. I mean, they've been digging. We've from an early age, we've been trained to dig through sand for treasures or to hide things. Take them out to go geocaching, where you actually use a GPS and get on the site and figure out these coordinates. It's a lifelong skill for survival that they can put in their back pocket and use it forever. And it doesn't have to be your kid. It could be your neighbor kid. It could be a kid down the street. You can go to, the schools, the 4-H clubs. You can go to the inner city clubs. And the sunshine is, I always tell people, there's so many times in life where people are asking me, how do you have no cares in your world? You have zero, you don't care about anything. You're wrong. I care more about everything than you'd ever imagine. But I've watched my mother be sick for 20 years of my life. I've watched my daughter in a hospital for 3 years after rolling a car with TBI and watching the machines tick and figure out when or not the doctors are going to run in. I've watched my friends that, were in car accidents or made, wrong decisions going through life. I've watched my kids get scraped. I've watched parents. There has been so much in my life that has mounted up to everything that at that time, tomorrow's going to be here. Tomorrow's going to come. Whatever you got going on, whatever is going on in your life that is so bad, tomorrow's a new day. That was a chapter of your life, and the road keeps going. Get to the next chapter, but take a kid with you, because that kid needs to know that as well. And the minute that you take that person fishing or hunting or anything else, you can go camping to make a s'mores. That kid makes his first fire, at the campground, or he skips its first rock, or she, whatever the case may be. It is amazing on what that will do to a soul. And it's not just us who is big into hunting or big into fishing or big into trapping or big into trap shooting or whatever the case may be. There's so many activities. Go to the pumpkin farm. Go to the apple orchard. Go watch the birds. Go to the birding festival. There's the outdoors is everybody's playground. Go to the Wisconsin, go to your national parks or your state parks and go for walks on the trails and see, it can be as little as identifying a track. You don't have to be into the outdoors to be able to do that. You can look up on, Google and figure out what different wild flowers and weeds, and these are all lifelong skills. So when I take my kids out of school for a week to go hunting, I'm not worried about the 2+2 that they learn there. I'm not saying that school is not important, because it certainly is, but I can tell you that I, in my lifetime, has never really worried about geometry or algebra or any other damn thing. I know what 2+2 is. And I made it this far. Unbelievable, isn't it?
And that's the thing. Like, nowadays, these kids get pushed in the corner, play your Xbox or play your video games, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And there's so many kids. We do a lot with kids. I did a youth dove hunt this year. Just got done with a youth coyote hunt. We had like a 8-year-old girl who never shot a gun before, and the first time she pulled the trigger was last weekend, and she shot a coyote. That's the kid who won it was 8 years old and shot 6 coyotes. The longest of 300 yards. It is awesome to see that. And that memories are, we were fortunate, Pat, like you said, your dad took you out as much as he could, or you had people in your life that took you out and showed you these things. I was lucky enough to, my dad lived long enough to grow me up to what I am. And I got to experience these things, and it was great to be part of that. But I know so many people. I told the Game Fish and Parks Department when I was doing a podcast with them here not that long ago, we missed the boat on R3 by 20 years. They should have been putting R3 in effect 20 years ago.
Yep.
And we'd be in a lot better place.
Yeah.
You know. So
No.
it's so true. Get them kids outside. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Take them outside.
You know, and the R3 is an amazing thing. It really is, because those that spend enough time in the outdoors, it's one of them where they're going to create the. I always like to tell everybody, create the need to want. It's not the want to need. Everybody needs or wants or whatever, but if you create the need to want, then you're going to really, you know, fast forward everything, because you're going to do everything in your power to learn everything that you need to do it because you want to do it, not because you need to do it. You know, it's when you keep talking about Xbox and PlayStation and all that stuff. My kids, I mean, last winter, I won one and I didn't want it. You know, I took a $500 Visa gift card. And I bought my 8-year-old daughter a 6.5. You know, it was just, why did I do it? Because that there is going to be much more beneficial in life. She's going to spend hopefully 80, 90 years of her life watching the sun come up, watching the sun go down, listening to the birds, listening to the geese during the spring where they, you know, the mating rituals, or if you're sitting on the marsh and you don't see the duck, all you hear is the from the ducks that's coming in from behind you, you know. And there's things in life that you can't replace. It's like the spitting and drumming of a tom when you're sitting at the bottom of the oak tree and you swear he's rattling or making that whole ground shake, or that turkey that gobbles right behind you 10 yards. It just makes the hair on your neck stand up. It's like, oh, you can't move. You cannot move. It's like, oh, it just, there's things in life, and that's why I started guiding. Is, you know, I started guiding a long time ago because that adrenaline rush, that experience, that joy that I get when I'm holding a rod, it's a 25-pound salmon and you're skidding water, it's screaming the other way and there's no stopping them. It's just you cannot stop it. No matter what you're doing, if you decide to crank it down, you're busting your line. So you need patience. You need to be able to just let that thing play out. And then at the end of the day, you're holding it and you're gripping and grinning, and that smile is from ear to ear. And, you know, everybody always asks, when are you done guiding? I will be done guiding when people stop smiling, when they enjoy doing what they're doing. Because no matter how you look at it, let's put it one way. So if you're at a video game or you're playing a video game or you're going to work, hey, let's go to work, okay? Let's go to work. We just came off of the COVID, which was probably the best thing for people to recharge their batteries and to figure out exactly who they are as a person, of what do I want in life. Am I going to sit on the couch and watch TV all day, or if I'm going to go for a walk in the state park? Or if I'm going to go and take a trip out to Devil's Lake, North Dakota, and I'm going to go fishing because they are still open and the world is not shut down there, so I'm going to go play. You know, so, or South Dakota, whatever the case may be. So out of all of this, at the end of the day, if you go to work and you accomplish something at work, let's say you're a big businessman. Let's say you're a big banker, you're a big 401k, whatever the case may be, the doctor, whatever. Day of your funeral. Now you're dead. Everybody in that family, it's their darkest time of their life. Are they going to talk about what you accomplished in that day at work, as far as, oh, he made me $5,000? Or are they going to talk about that biggest fish of your lifetime and how big your smile was? Are they going to talk about that deer that, you know, got away on you, or whatever the case may be? If you sit back and you really think about it, how important things are in your life, what are they? Is it selling a French fry? Are you going to worrying about, you know, I have a meeting tonight, so I can't do this with my kids or that and that. I'm not saying that you should just quit your jobs, but there has to be balance. There has to be balance of saying, my life, I could be dead tomorrow.
Yeah,
I could be dead
Well,
tomorrow.
Yeah,
So if there's an opportunity, I mean, work is important. Work is very important, but so is taking the kids outdoors, because it teaches them that it's okay to take a Saturday afternoon off from cleaning the house and going fishing, hunting, geocaching, metal detecting, whatever.
Well, it's all
Sorry,
life long.
Hey, when you guys were talking about a half hour, I thought this was just an introductory.
Oh yeah, sorry. I kind of feel bad if we're gonna get into things a little differently here. I really didn't know what to put on the screen for you because, well, frankly, I worked on it for about a half an hour. I felt a little bad because I'm like, well, okay, I better try to squeeze that all in, and well, frankly, I had to go to a fourth page and I had to go to a fifth page.
So here's the thing: when you start, I don't blame you here, because it's one of them things where I'm so ADHD that I'm like a squirrel on a branch with a stream below you that you don't know how to jump, but damn it, I'm gonna jump anyways just because it's something to do. So I mean, I love the industry, and I've spent 25 years of traveling, all over the United States, doing nothing but promoting the products that I use, that I believe in, introducing them to people that they can fast forward in life. I think that nowadays, coming off of the COVID years and back into the reality of life, I think that through sport shows and seminars and things like that, that the world is, I'm sick of getting screwed over. I'm sick of seeing something online and ordering something online, and when you get it and you put it in your hand and it's a grade A piece of shit, excuse my language, but it's useless. You throw it in the back of the cupboard, you never touch it again. You just wasted yourself hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on different products. You go to put a piece of garment or clothing on, and it doesn't fit the way that you wanted it to, so it hangs in your closet with tags for years. You tried boots on, the arch is wrong. You take a fishing rod, and the tip isn't exactly the way that you want. The sports shows are there to go up to, touch, feel, talk to the experts, and go, oh, I want that bad. And when you were a kid, you look forward to going to the sports shows and talking to those members of, the highest of the high, the coolest guys that you're watching on TV, that you're watching on all this other stuff, and you want to learn from them. And I think that sports show is coming up. I'm really, really excited about what the sports show is coming into the next year is going to offer, because of the innovation, the capabilities of bettering the product. If it's a piece of crap product, the social media throws it off. You and I have a say, and we can banter and bicker about anything, all that we want online. And if that's the case, it's never going to last. So when you get into the nuts and bolts of the industry, the products, man, they just keep getting better and better and better and better because of the competition. And it's the same thing with guides. It's the same thing with people. It's the same thing with podcasts and TV shows. And, I think that it's an exciting time right now for all of us.
You know what? It really is. And you mentioned going to the ice shows. One of my big things, and I'm going to steal the show for a second, is this walleye puzzle. I just had that graphic put together, and in those pieces, I'm going to put names like Pat Kalmerton and Jason Mitchell, Brian Brosdahl, and I'm filling in the pieces to the puzzle. Chase Parsons, Ted Takasaki. There are some that will never get filled in. There are others that are going to be blank because I'm going to more seminars. All of these seminars that are out there for free, I'm noticing that the attendance is slipping. It's less and less and less and less and less, but we all have a thirst for more knowledge. You have a chance to gain knowledge, even if it's one or two pieces to that walleye puzzle. Just one or two at a seminar in Sioux Falls, or if you're going to go to Blaine, or if you're going to go to St. Paul, or they're going to have one in Detroit Lakes at Outlet Recreation the weekend of Thanksgiving. So there's going to be an opportunity there too. Go to these seminars, for Pete's sake. They're free. Learn. I honestly love going to them. I wasn't going to go to the Chase Parsons seminar. Sorry, Chase. I don't mean this in a bad way. I wasn't going to go. But I'm like, okay, I love Okoboji. I have to go. I sat down, and I think he gave me 6 pieces to the puzzle. I was absolutely blown away, and he gave great information, and I was so happy that I went. So if you're not going to go, too bad on you. I'm going to sit in one of the empty seats, no doubt. It's just something with the season coming up here. You got a chance to go to these things. So there we go. I got that off my chest, and I feel a whole lot better now.
You look better too.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. So
this all kind of segues into the topic that I was going to bring up tonight is, Pat, you've been in this industry for how long? Since you're 17, 18 years old? I mean,
yeah, I'm pushing 30 years in the industry now that I was actually getting paid to be here.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of like I feel slipping in this industry is these kids are going out and they're getting a jersey and they're getting a discount and they're standing at a sports show, but they're not getting paid, or they might get a flip over shack. And Pat, you've been down this road for 30 years, and it takes money to make the world go around. So if you're getting a discount on a shack or a rod or something, and you're standing there and with a jersey on, and yeah, you get to call yourself a pro staff, but that's not what a pro staff is to me. A pro staff is a Pat that is out there using the product, getting paid to do it, putting on the seminars, and we're flooding the industry with, we're doing it right now with social media people. What's your take on that?
It's a slippery slope here, Kurt. You're going to get me in trouble a little bit. There's two ways to look at that. As far as somebody that's been in the industry for a very long time, that's put in their dues, that has traveled a lot and gone to every biggest possible show there is, being ICAST, SHOT Show, ATA, and then every biggest media show, the NW. So you got the NWTF, you have ATA, you have SHOT Show, you have ICAST, you have Bassmasters, you have Forestwood Cup, you have Red Credit, you have all the biggest shows to promote those products, right? And then you have all the writer conferences. So you have, CEOPA isn't there anymore, but you have OWA, you have POMA, you have a GLOW, you have all the different states and all the different media events and all that stuff. And here's how I'm going to respond to that in the most political way that I can. And those of us that have been in the industry, it scares us a little bit. And here's why: because we worry about our value and our knowledge that we've gained from the biggest and the best. Okay, so your dad was one of them. I mean, that guy was a wealth of knowledge. If you sat there and you listened to him and you spent any time with him, Kurt, Dave was an amazing individual with an amazing amount of knowledge that he has gained through other people in front of him. Okay.
Yep.
So now you got a series of a chain reaction. Okay. Now you have somebody that was doing it 100 years ago. You have somebody that was doing it 80 years ago. You have somebody that was doing it 60 years ago, and so on. And now it trickled down to, let's say, myself. I learned from those folks in front of me, man, woman, whatever the case may be, and I put it into a dialogue that I would understand that worked best for myself. And at that point, I decided that I was going to kind of circle it around and put it in my own terms to be able to teach the next generation on things. So now you have the certain individuals coming down through it, the people that you have mentioned, coming down through this whole thing is everybody that we have talked about had those mentors and have been into the industry for a very long time, because there's been weeks where I have sat at the kitchen table with Dave Gens at his cabin learning and picking his brain and taking the time and giving him the spotlight, which he has earned every single second that gentleman has.
I think we got a lock up there.
Did we lose him?
We'll see. It's a good pose if he's over on us. Yeah, no doubt. Pat's been absolutely fantastic in the industry, and not only that, this is a good time because he may be stalled there to have a little fun at his expense. He's got some of the best pictures on social media that you'd ever see. I mean, obviously he's taking a little bit of a nap here, but look at these. I didn't know he was Elmer Fudd. I had no clue, but he's Elmer Fudd. And then he's Mr. Serious Face there too. He's a heck of a guy. And if you get a chance to meet him, to fish with him, to hang with him, he's a pretty cool dude. You want to talk about kids and things. Here he is, big smile with obviously a gal that got a pretty awesome fish. Oh,
hey,
hello,
wardrobe change.
Did he have enough of me rambling on or what?
No. We just had you on a 7-second delay there, but it turned out to be 70-second delay. But that'll teach you for swearing.
Yeah, I know.
All right. What I was saying is I didn't want to get you in trouble. I'm just saying you built yourself into something that, a lot of people look up to, including myself. And it's not by getting the discounts. And that's what I mean by this conversation is teach these kids, the proper way to come into to do these things so these guys can, learn from you and be around for 30 years in the industry.
I think with social media, it's instant fame. I think that it's, thanks, Will. I think with social media, it's a one of them things where the instant fame of I know how to work a computer, I know how to be on there, and now I'm going to get in front of a camera and I'm going to be a pro from something that I watched off of YouTube without actually being there in the moment. And now I'm going to get on there and teach people on how to musky fish, or I'm going to, it doesn't work. It doesn't, I mean, yes, it might work with, the product that you're going to be able to sell, but you see these individuals come and go, they get the spotlight, and some of them are really good. Some of them are really, really good. But there's also those that I'll go sit in a boat with that want nothing to do with social media, hate pictures and everything else. And I learned more from those individuals. There's 300,000 sticks out there that are better than myself. I can promise you that. I can promise you there's 300,000 sticks out there that are better than I. But I'm going to help promote you, and I'm going to have a lot more fun doing it. And I'm going to take that knowledge that I have learned from certain individuals, and I'm going to maybe not teach myself, but hopefully I can pass it along to somebody else, and they can put it into their program and do just as well. I mean, I'm surprised Will ain't on here. He was just giving me crap. I'm surprised he ain't getting on here telling him how every time we go fishing, I don't catch crap. But, there's a reason for that, is because when there's a camera on, you ploy all the things that actually work, but when you go fun fishing, you're testing different things. You're playing with different things. You're constantly trying different things. Anybody that fishes with me knows that I'm going to go through 3,000 different lures in a matter of 5 minutes and just goofing around. But
yeah, you can catch fish. You are
Oh, there's
obviously
one.
there. Are you the fish whisperer or the fish blower? What's?
That's a beautiful walleye, isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeous, and this.
There's a muskie. I got that muskie there. Yeah, no, but there's something about it. Maybe it's the air that got me all goofy. Maybe it's the people in the industry. I think that's the biggest thing is the people within the industry, and majority of are just good people. All the way across the board between the manufacturers, the different. It takes a certain somebody to have a passion as deep as what we have, and there's a lot of people that going back to the different sponsors and stuff. I'll tell you what, I had a really hard time for a little while when, I 6 years ago, I decided to switch companies that I promoted because of the involvement of the women and children and the innovation that they had going through with the new products and stuff. And that was a really, really hard decision that I had because of the friends and the people and the world that I knew and what I promoted for so long. It wasn't the fact that it wasn't even the fact that it was one of them where I switched for the money because the money was the same. I switched because of the product. I switched because of the innovation, the technology, and the way that they were involved with the women and the children, and they believed in the future of the sport. And there was so much that went into that decision. But I'm not going to lie to you. I sat there and I stared at that jersey for Blaine, Minnesota was the first time that I had to fly different colors. And I still remember that day sitting there looking at it after 25 years of wearing a different color. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my. But I wasn't promoting something lesser superior at the time that I was wearing those other colors. I was promoting the company that was the leader in the business as far as innovation and technology and going to offer the best equipment for the limited time that people have to spend in the outdoors. And once I realized that company is not the same as it once was, I went to Clam and, knowing that the products, they hang their hat on the shelf at night, knowing that we have the strongest and the best, and we use it day in and day out, and that's what we believe in.
Well, in your defense, I've only been in the industry for 2.5 years, so it hasn't been that long, but everybody's been very kind, and I feel like a part of the club or part of the group. But you look at what Clam has done, and I can see it because I went to Blaine last year, and the number of men, women, and children that are representing the brand, representing Clam, is phenomenal. Then you go to Sioux Falls, then you go to St. Paul, and it's astronomical, really. I mean, there isn't anything that compares to Clam at an ice show, and I'm sure some of the others like the Minnesota State Fair, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a family. It's one of them things where the colors are blue across no matter what you're doing. The loyalty, the passion, the beliefs, everything about it. There's a reason that people fall so hard, and at first I was always, when I was different, they drink the Kool-Aid. Well, you're damn right I drink the Kool-Aid because I love the Kool-Aid. I love everything about it. It stains me to the core, and it's a good thing because it's one of them where prime example is I was at a show once, and this woman comes up and she grabs a tip-up off the shelf. I'm big into tip-ups. Anybody that knows this industry or knows who I am. Yeah, tip-up! Anybody that knows anything about the ice fishing and my passions and the industry itself, they know that I love tip-ups. I mean, I'm running drop shots up at tip-ups every ice show there is. I'm doing seminars on tip-ups. you know, how you can use them for scouting and different species and panfish and muskie. You can use a tip up for no matter what the case may be. So I was at a ice show, and I think I was talking about the Lakewood products. I was over there, and I was showing them my tip up boxes on what I use because, and this is why I use it, and you know, the functionality and the benefits and how strong they are and all this other stuff. And she goes, "Why do you use that tip up?" And it was a clam wood rail tip up. I said, "Why wouldn't I use that?" "Well, isn't this one better?" And she picked this up. I said, "Well, you tell me. All right, put a weight on there and let it free fall." Well, the clam was smoother. All right, now take this and play with this and play with that and do this and that. She couldn't tell the difference between one or the other. One was smoother than the other. One was more sturdy than the other. One was a third of the price of the other. And everything that was pointed to the clam direction. So it's like Grandpa in the Ford and Chevy thing. You love Chevy because Grandpa had a Chevy. You love Ford because you had a Ford. Take them up, put them side by side, and tell me the functionality differences. Look at the price tag and tell me what one is a better buy. Hands down. I can take any tip up there. I can do anything. So when I do the seminar, I always tell everybody, it doesn't matter if you have, you know, orange, if you have pink, if you have blue, if you have green. I don't care what color tip up you're using. As long as you're fishing, I'm happy. 100% I'm happy for you. Pick them all up. Play with them all. Test them all. Do it the right way, and you'll make your own decision. I choose clam because that's what I choose. They're smooth. I can tell you that a bluegill sucked in a teardrop because of the way that I set it. And if you don't know how to set it that way, go to some of the YouTube videos of me working with tip ups on the functionality and the ease of, I mean, they're all over the place between the YouTube stuff and the seminars. And we have 2 of them coming up again. I mean, we'll be in St. Paul. We'll be at Wisconsin. You know, if you don't know how to set them for panfish and you happen to miss any of my seminars, walk up to the booth and talk. That's why we're there. Do not be afraid to come talk to us at the show. We want to talk to people.
Well, I can tell you this.
Product.
I've not been a fan of tip-ups ever. My buddy Chad is big into them. I'm like, just throw the things in the garbage. I hate them. Until I saw your video on using drop shots, and I fell in love with it. I'm
not happy with you.
Yeah, well, no, I'm a tip-up guy now. We're using tip-ups. We used them the last half of the season, but we didn't have much luck fishing though. But that was because of my equipment. We'll talk about that some other day. But yeah, it's truly amazing. That whole drop shot under a tip-up is truly amazing, and it makes life so much easier. I thought he said he didn't have any moonshine.
I know, it's pretty clear, isn't it? It's pretty clear. Being my jug of water, you know. Yeah, so I have a loaded. I am really happy for those that are doing video, and really happy for those that are really engaging. Sometimes I feel as if they're directing the wrong narrative towards, you know, doing something that is going to lead into a lot more heartache and headache. I think that there's a lot of them that will promote a product because the product gets sent to them, and they just don't know enough about it. I think that the biggest problem that I have with all of that is, let's say they start getting success and then somebody asks them a question and they're too good to answer it in person. We'll leave it at that, Kurt. I think that there's.
I guess my pitch on this was, you know, you've been in it a long time. You know, if some kids out there, you know, and it's great. We're doing video now. YouTube's a great thing. I mean, people can learn anything on YouTube. I mean, that's how I figure out half the stuff I do in life is, I don't know how to do it. I'll get on YouTube and try to find a video for it. There's a great place for that. It's bringing kids outside, like we were talking earlier, because they're watching a video on YouTube of somebody hunting, then they want to go do it. I'm not getting at that, but like your point, you're with one company for 25 years. That's where I see, like you said, don't switch, don't jump. That was where I was getting with my statement was, how do you make it 30 years in the industry and not become that overnight sensation and disappear? You've done that.
Here's the easiest way to answer that. Be true. Stay in your lane. So I'm not I can't come to you and say that I'm the best guy that, you know, could jig walleyes anywhere and everywhere. Can I do it? Yeah, but I don't promote it and talk about it. I let those that are the professionals do that. Same thing with electronics. Do I use them every day? Absolutely, I use them every day. Are they better than me out there at reading electronics? Yes. Stay in your lane. Let them do that. You know, I think that there's a certain rod and reel combo. There's people that are really good at promoting that. The easiest way for me to tell you that working that has worked for me is sitting back listening. I love to hear the stories. I love to talk the product. I love to find out what your needs are, not what my needs. I don't care if I sell you a tip up or a jig rod. I don't care what color tip up or jig rod that you have. I don't care the brand of that. What I want to see is you succeed on your limited time that you get to go play outdoors. Mm-hmm. If that is a case of me saying, I think that you need to do this, but yet you're telling me that you'd like to do this, we're going to find a solution. And within that, you know, at a sports show and everything else, I sit back, I watch a lot of the people that are there on behalf of the sponsors talking amongst each other. I see a lot of the people that are at sports shows talking about the same thing, or they're walking around doing this or that. And to be successful in this industry, you have to be present. You have to be the first one at the show and the last one to leave. You have to go to the dinners and rub elbows with the owners, but yet the buyers. You have to be able to fish panfish to walleyes or muskies. You have to be able to be diverse enough to know when you're wrong. You have to be humble when you're right. You have to be the person that everybody wants to be around. And it took a long time to learn how to talk in front of a camera. It took a long time to pick up a piece of equipment and learn their different functionalities that you can benefit off of. It took a long time to stand back. I mean, there was 15, 20 years of myself being in the industry where I've watched, you know, the guys that got the spotlight, and instead of pushing them out, I embraced that, learned from that, sat down and learned their knowledge to put into my arsenal. And the only thing that I've gained is the knowledge of true legends to be able to pass on to the next person. I have no problem with somebody that comes through that wants to bust into the industry and has a passion to it, to sit down with them and to share what others have shared with me, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without the individuals that took the time to sit down with me. And I think that is the biggest fear that I have, is the maybe I'm old, maybe I'm one of the ancient ones that are going to get pushed out. But I mean, I'm mid-40s. I got a long time to be able to enjoy this ride yet. And I was lucky enough that I had a couple of companies that really believed in my abilities and my passions and my knowledge and gave me the opportunity. I certainly didn't take advantage of it. And the ones that are in it to be at the top, the minute that they get into it, I feel sorry for them, because they're missing the entire ride.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the other thing too that they got to be prepared for, and they're not thinking about it at all, is the emotional roller coaster.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yep. You're gonna be asked to do things. You're gonna be on cover of magazines. You're gonna be in multiple shows, and then you're gonna go through a dry spell where you're gonna be told that you're not relevant anymore, and it's gonna make you learn the next step. They're gonna tell you that there's so many people out there that are better at promoting. Well, that just lights a fire under your ass. That's one of them where it's like, all right, here we go. I'm going to learn this, or I'm going to learn that. I'm going to take the time to do this or that. And that's truly the case. And I got to up my game, because if there's somebody that is truly better at something than something that I'm very passionate about doing, here we go. Bring it to the table.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I always tell these younger kids is, you put that jersey on, it's not just your last name on that jersey.
Right.
And on and off of camera. In this world, we're always on camera, right? Nowadays, I mean, when we grew up, if somebody wanted to record you, it was a full production with a camera over your shoulder. Nowadays, all these kids are on camera. We're all on camera. Everything we do is on camera. And you have to own your name through that whole thing, because it's just not your name. It's everybody that everybody's put an opportunity into you. And that's a big thing of, you can be out there and be the nicest guy at the sports show, but the biggest dick on the lake, that's going to get back.
Yep. It's public perception. You wear a dress at a bar one time and people talk about it 13 years later.
Oh, yeah, I've got that picture here. Let me see if I can.
I know. Fire it up. I don't care, because I own up to it. But
it was Halloween.
Like I said, loud enough to be heard, bright enough to be seen. It's one of them things where not only that, but I mean, you gotta mind your P's and Q's. Like you're saying, you go out. If you think that you're going to go out and, go to the bar and get in fights with people all the time, or if you're going to just stay out of it, man, just stop. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. There's so many people that want to be in the front, but then they close their eyes the entire ride. And when they get done, they're like, oh man, that was really awesome. But I don't know what just happened, because I don't know. When's the last time? And this goes for anybody and everybody. When's the last time you just took a ride out in the country and barely moved? It's just
right.
Forget it. You don't have a schedule. There is no when you're pro staff. Like, for prime example, for anybody and everybody that just got into this, you're not a pro. Because your title is pro staff, you are promotional staff. You are there to promote the products that believe in you, to be able to encourage you to help them put people on the best products. And if you're selling a product that you don't believe is the best product out in the industry, shame on you. Shame on you. If you're using something, or if you're getting paid by, or if you're getting something for cost or less than that, just to be able to say that I'm on pro staff, it's not going to last for you, man. Woman, it's not going to. You need to have all the confidence in the world to let that shine through, so when you're talking about something, that you own it. I don't know when's the last, I don't know if you guys have tried a prime example. I don't know if you've ever tried the Blackfish Gales on, the Storm Skins or the regular Gale. If you've never done that, try one on, and you will be hooked for life. The ergonomics of it, the comfort of it, the ability to do anything and everything that you want to do, and the warmth of those pullovers, the quarter zip Gale pullover, you will sit there and go, wow. You will never wear a sweatshirt in the outdoors again if the temperature is below 50 degrees. Will not. Because they are amazing.
And that product is designed by guys like you that have been in the industry for 30 years, and they put them on and they try them and they say, this doesn't work. And that's what the longevity and the knowledge gets you, and being loyal and making your name something out there that's important. Like you said, don't be humble. Be humble about it, and you're going to go a long ways.
Yeah, it just mean people suck, man. Mean people suck. Don't be arrogant. Don't sit down upon somebody. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just seriously, just love everything about life. Stop being salty. God, salty people suck.
Isn't that the truth?
I mean, seriously, if you're a salty person, don't even waste your time coming up to talk to me because I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna goof around. If I annoy you because I'm loud and obnoxious when I'm goofing around with some friends, I apologize. I love life. It has nothing to do with me stepping on your toes. And if you're in a bad mood because something is going on in your life, well, shit, give me a call. I'll talk to you. It's one of them where life is too short. Enjoy every single second of it. Take the time to talk to those that want to talk to you, because if you don't, if you're, and that's the other thing, there's so many people out there that, oh, I tournament fish, or I do this, or I do that, and I'm better than you. You're better at me than what? You caught more fish in one weekend, or what? I mean, I'm not trying to say that there's no cloud to it, because there is. Congratulations. That's awesome. You did really well that weekend. That's awesome. Every single day that you go out there, I bet an 8-year-old someday is going to beat you, and that's just the way that this world works. He's going to put on a night crawler under a bobber, and he's going to outfish everybody in that boat, because that's what those fish wanted that day. If you can figure it out every single day when you go fishing, great for you. That's awesome. You put the puzzle together. But tomorrow there's going to be a new puzzle on that counter, and somebody's going to be better at it than you. And you better expect that, and you better respect that. Because if you don't, you're in trouble. Because if you succeed today and you fail tomorrow, and you get salty because you failed tomorrow because you succeeded yesterday, you're going to be miserable your entire life, because it, like you said, it is a roller coaster. Get on there, throw your hands up, shout, and go, woo! Here we go! I love the fact that all the way down through, I've gained so many friends with so many different opportunities. I've been blessed to be able to hunt and fish all over this country. I've been blessed to be in the same room.
We'll give him a second here.
Yeah. Glitching again.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask him about Wolfpack Adventures, because they look like they get to it and they have a blast. Pat does go out and have some fun. This is from a glow in Bemidji. He was hanging with the Visit Devil's Lake, North Dakota folks, and Tanner Cherney and Susie and those guys, and having an absolute blast. And he crawled to the top of the tower. And here's one of those things. If you don't go to the top of the tower and take pictures and enjoy something like that and enjoy the view and remember it forever, you've wasted your time.
Yeah.
He's so right when he talks about, seeing everything. And it's going to be interesting for some of these young people who think fame and fortune is really fun and it's easy. And I don't know much about it because I'm not famous and I don't have the fortune, but I talk to people who are famous and who aren't as rich as we all think they all are. So, it's an interesting place. If you think you're going to get into this and find fame and fortune instantly, you might for a quick second, but you better be prepared to hang on to it, grab a hold and keep a hold. Pat, nice to have you back.
Hi, guys. I just wanted everybody to go have a bathroom break.
Yeah, we did. Oh wait, nobody was here.
Yeah.
Well, I see we've got 25 seconds left. So, Pat, wrap her up.
Okay, bye, guys. Good luck.
Okay.
Before we go, you brought up a good thing. Brian, you brought up a good thing. Before we go, you promote this stuff, but you also run a guide service. Just hit a quick minute on your Wolfpack adventures. And I mean, you've got a ton of boats out there, and tell people what that's about quick, and then we'll wrap her up.
Yeah, we do. We have Wolfpack Adventures, so we have a couple of salmon boats out of the Port of Sheboygan. We have we do walleye fishing up on the Bay of Green Bay. We have enclosed trailers for fly fishing, spin cast fishing, all that stuff down on the tributaries to Lake Michigan. We do a lot of ice fishing, on inland lakes and also the tributaries too. There's a lot of different ways to find us and follow us. I got a YouTube channel, the Pat Kalmerton Outdoors YouTube channel. I got Pat Kalmerton Outdoors on Facebook. I got Pat Kalmerton on Facebook. I got Take Them Kids Outdoors on Facebook and Instagram. I have Wolfpack Adventures on Facebook, and so there's a lot of different ways to get a hold of us. A lot of different ways. You can always just type in my fancy name down there, and I don't know if you're going to find anything useful or not, but there may be a thing or two that you learn. I don't know, but nothing else. If you hear this voice out in the on the lake anywhere, if you hunting, fishing, whatever with kids, man, please come over, talk to us, have a good time. I'll probably have a grill going. The guy doesn't get this ugly and this big without eating. So, come on over and have if you find the tin jar though, I can promise you there's a couple of Snickers in there. You help yourself. I mean, nothing beats a cold Snickers on the lake.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Hey, well, here's one thing. We are going to get together and take our mind labs out. We're going to go chasing coins and looking for treasure.
I think we should go out Devil's Lake, man. That water around there, I think we can find a ton of fancy stuff out on the shorelines of there. Yeah, no, I'm all in. I'm excited. Mind Lab, like I said, they're sending over a metal detector, and we're going to go play with a bunch of the kids, and I've been wanting to get one. Here's the honest to God truth. I've wanted one for a long time. I kept talking to my wife about it, and she's like, "Well, isn't there somebody that you can work with out there?" And I was like, honestly, I don't know. I mean, that's a whole new world to me. But then talking to myself and talking to a lot of the people at the Glow conference, that is the company to go with. So that's why I decided to go with it. And there it is. There you are. There you are. You're over in Bemidji, knee deep in the water looking for coins and stuff. I wanted to be out there so bad for you, but I thought you'd give me the shovel and make me start shoveling or something.
Oh, no.
And then the minute I'd find it, you'd start running from me, and you're probably faster. Maybe I can lasso you around the ankles with the lure or something and drag you back in the water.
Well, I hope we get to metal detect together someday. That would be a blast. It is a lot of fun. The kids dig it. I've got a neighbor in the backyard here. I gave him a pinpointer. I gave him a digger. I gave him gloves. And he's just been absolutely going crazy the last 2 summers.
I don't know what any of that means. A pin digger, a dagger, and gloves. What? I'm not quite sure if I do want to go with you with a dagger, gloves, shovel. Is this a way to get rid of me or what?
Go get a gasket scraper. Go get some shovels. I'll send you pictures of all my stuff, and you'll be ready to roll.
Can you find them at like St. Vinny's or Goodwill or something? Those are my favorite places to shop.
You might be able to find a place there. You go.
Oh, look at this one. Wait a minute. I was over in Bemidji. This is awesome. Right here. It is this one right here. Look at this bad boy. It is a cork wooden where did I go? There we go. It is a cork with a burlap wooden head decoy that I added to my decoy collection. So all of these are all hand carved decoys that I had. One of my customers, his name is Bill Liska. He did all hand carved decoys for me, but that thing is awesome. What do you got there?
That is cool.
Joey Jokes.
I got the pleasure to hunt with Joey Jobs over his handmade decoys in Harbor Day Grace, Maryland.
Really?
We went body booting last year. It was awesome.
Body booting. I don't know. I don't think I want to know what body booting is.
We'll talk body. I'll have to show you what body booting is. It's pretty awesome. It was an amazing experience.
Oh gosh.
So with that, buddy, thank you for your time tonight. We sure do appreciate you being on. It was awesome to catch up with you again. But I think the only way to go out of here is we better get a hold of our boy Frankie.
Frankie! Frank! I want to go get a Clyde hat so bad. Frankie! Where did Frank go? Oh, Billy. Yeah, you put Jay. That is a whole different story. Oh God, where the hell is Billy? He's on the dance floor again. Unbelievable, Frankie. All right, gentlemen, get on. Hey, I appreciate you having me on. I always enjoy talking to you. Absolute pleasure. Looking good. Well, Kurt, kind of, sort of. But other than that, guys, thank you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Fantastic. Oh, there we go.